A storm's coming. You best be prepared. What's up, militia? And we're back with another video. This is probably video 2 of the creek restoration project. It's going pretty well, and biodiversity is definitely coming back. So that is a plus. We're going to be talking a bit about stuff today. But first, let's have our 10-second silence for the stuff following. Nature. One of the most magnificent things of this world. It's so beautiful and pure. Seems like everything goes together. But see, under all of that is some of the most complex organisms and creatures you will ever see. Nature is something severely underlooked. We go out, maybe go to a park, or maybe go to our backyard and look around and be like, man, these plants, or perhaps this water, is beautiful. But we must remember one thing. Imagine how beautiful it was before humans took over the land, before pollution started to happen. Would have been so much nicer, so much more pure than what we have right now. Every day, we are losing tons and tons of trees and animals and biodiversity. I myself am, a criminal to that. A lot of my, especially clay age, caused some problems, and I'm here to fix that. As I said in my other video, putting a band-aid on a wound will not fully heal it, but it allows for your body to be uninterrupted during the healing process. And that's exactly what I am here to do. I'm going to make the creek uninterrupted. I'm going to make the creek much more beautiful and clean, and just keep it pure. Of course, the creek, I'm still going to be building buildings down here, but we're also, in the process, we're going to be turning it very green. By no means is nature ever going to be completed. Even day one of this earth, I don't think God had any intention of that it was fully created. Because if he had that intention, everything that he placed in the world would not be able to continue, growing and to continue being built. It would have stopped. So God knew that this, that the earth is going to be continuing to be created. And so, let's always remember to care for this nature that God provided us, because we might not always have this. Enjoy the clean air while you have it, because one day that clean air may be replaced with artificial air and chemicals that gives us even more cancer. Nature is beautiful, and nature should not be underlooked. With so much going on, you would think that how could there be so much beauty out here? All these fights and fires and all these bad storms that are happening. But there's so much beauty. And I think we definitely should start protecting our nature more and more. And especially us young people should start to stand up and to look at nature more and more. A massive problem with what we have today is that caring for nature has gotten political now. It's relying on political parties. Mainly the Liberal Party is the ones that care for nature, and the Conservative Party is those that do not care for nature. But here's the thing. Nature should not be political. Political parties are just messing up everything. Just enjoy nature for what it is. Do not go and be like, oh, well, this is that. Because we are so scared to actually mess with nature because of political parties. Because we think, oh, we may be looked at differently and we may be looking like we're picking sides. Also, we're scared of how just, complex nature is, but it isn't that, it isn't that different from building your regular cities. See, nature is its own city. This log right here could be very well as a city with all the bugs inside of it, going together. That is itself is a city. This water is a city. You cannot see it, but this is a highway. The water is a highway moving microscopic molecules and microscopic organisms all throughout the city. There is fish over there in that cove. You can see one swimming. There's one swimming in there, and it's a pretty big fish. And this is all one massive city. One natural city. Many times, we actually looked to nature for inspiration. The Wright brothers creating the plane, I believe, looked to birds for inspiration, and many of our modern day planes, we looked at birds for inspiration due to just how magnificent their wings were created. And many of our buildings and stuff were inspiration from nature. Nature is beautiful, so complex, and so peaceful. That's what I like about nature. That you can just walk around in a forest and just see how everything goes hand in hand. Fallen trees aren't something to be sad about. There's something to be proud about. Because that fallen tree is now home to hundreds of different organisms. The standing trees are home to different organisms. Everything plays a part in nature. And that's something that we should acknowledge and be proud about. That nature is still standing today. And that we are making a change to nature. The Creek Restoration Project. A new era of the creek. A new dawn begins now. The creek is coming into a different stage. No more is the creek in the clay age. The clay age caused so much harm than it did good. And I do not want that. So because of this, we're turning to the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution is going to be a multitude of so much stuff. From planting more to creating beaver dams. This alone has already provided so much fish a home. There's so much fish right there, especially. I'm not sure if you can see it through the camera, but there's so much different fish. There's fish over there. And this is providing a home for these mosses on the side to get more water, along with over there for those plants to get more stuff. I made a little house right here. And as you see, it's a different approach to the regular houses. And that is what I'm going to do. So right now, on screen, I'm going to put up what my plans are, the new architecture and engineering of what I'm planning to do. I'm taking a different reapproach and using a different tactics that are revolutionary for this terrain of the creek. There's going to be a multitude of houses that are into these little caverns right here. Like, I saw that and I was like, that's good. That can be a house. And it's provided to be a quite nice house. And there's multitude of these areas all around the creek that can be turned into houses. But with this triangular shaped house, it will provide a very sturdy structure, and I don't have to tie it to any, or nail it to any trees, because it should be able to hold itself. It's going to be hundreds of pounds of wood, dirt, and leaves holding it down. That's not going to be blown over by just some wind. It doesn't have to be hammered into the ground in order to stand. Because it's going to be three, depending on how big the house is, it's going to be three different triangular supporting beams holding it. And with that, it'll be a multitude and a plentiful amount of balance. Everywhere you look is going to be green when the green revolution is fully at its climax. There's going to be organisms. You're going to hear so many frogs and birds chirping. Right now you can hear some birds chirping, but it's not as much as I want it to be. But we're going to bring that back. See, birds will come here for food, water, and shelter. But there's not that much shelter right now. And there's not that much food. Nor was there even that much water. The water was getting so polluted that, there's nothing to do. And this water looks kind of cloudy right now. But in reality, it's not really. This water is pretty clean. And it's enough water for different animals to come here and drink. It's not, filled with clay. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to go get clay. No. I'm going to be getting a lot of clay still. But we're not going to be doing what we were. We're not going to be mining so much clay. About a bucket is going to take us really, really far. Because I'm not going to be making these paths anymore out of clay. The paths are going to be out of dirt. And not just dirt, but also there's going to be out of ropes. There's going to be ropes to climb up, like this wall right here. If I keep walking down it, it's going to keep eroding it. But if I put a rope, I can climb it and then rappel down, causing less erosion. So there's going to be rope paths, and there's going to be normal paths. And also, what I'm going to do is get more biodiversity down here. Introduce new native species to my state and put them down here. Right now, I know about 7 different plants we have down here. Just plants. The trees are many different. I know we have some oak. We have red oak. We have normal oak. We have birch. And we have pine trees. It's quite, biodiverse. And so we have plenty of trees, plenty of plants, but I want more. I want plants that's going to vine around the area, go up buildings, and go on bridges and these little fallen trees I added into the area. I want the area to be so green and so lush that when you're walking around, you feel like you're walking in a rainforest and not a temperate forest. There's so many areas, and like before anyone thinks like, oh, that might, cause some problems and some phytonutrients. There's so much areas that are so bland and plain, like this area right here. Because I've been walking on it so much, I'm not allowing for plants to grow. And guess what? That is a massive problem we have nowadays. We're walking and trampling on plants we don't even know are there because they aren't fully grown yet. But when we trample on it, we're making the soil so compacted that the plants do not have room to grow. We always have to make sure we watch where we step, because we could be hurting roots and many plants, and that can cause a problem to the ecosystems. We, as humans, have definitely done some problems, but we've also known how to fix our mistakes. And here's the thing. We can continue to fix our mistakes. I'm young, and I know many young people who are not caring whatsoever about our ecosystem. They really don't care much about the world, and they're just more focused on themselves, and I get that. But remember what we were born into. We were born into this world. Do not turn your back on the people that cared for you, and do not turn your back on the world that nourished you with food and water. Always remember to care for this. I think now is the time that young people should start to go and care for their ecosystem. Perhaps there is some community service you could do to care for the ecosystem. Or perhaps, maybe in your own backyard, you can go and try and grab some plants and reproduce the plants. It's not that hard. A lot of plants, if you just go, cut it, put it in water, and make it root, then that right there, you can just continue to plant that. I right now have some ivy, or it's called golden green, and it's a plant that vines, and it's native to here, to my state. And so I'm going to use that because that has some roots. So we're going to plant it, and it grows quite fast. And so it's going to, spread like a wildfire practically. The beaver dams are doing really good, bringing fish and crawfish and all of that. And the ecosystem is going to continue to grow. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was educational, and I hope together we can stand and start caring for our ecosystems without being scared of what may, happen and what people may think. We live in the age of social media. We can learn anything. So why not you spend some time learning how to care for our ecosystem and how to care for this world that God blessed us with. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and God bless.